What is up, everyone, and welcome to the Power Hour. I'm Jimmy Conrad. This is my channel, and we have another great show for you guys. As always, unfortunately, all the guests that we were trying to get had other things to. Like, apparently, they're busy. They're busy. No, they're really sweet. They're going to come on the show in the future, but I don't want to say the names just yet. There's some big names, and they're going to be great guests, but they couldn't make it happen today. So we're going solo. We're flying solo, but we do have some special guests that are going to be dropping in and having some fun. Some special correspondents, as I like to call them. And yeah, it should be a great show. We got good news, bad news. There's a lot to talk about with regard to some stuff that's going well for some people and some stuff that isn't going so well. On the other end, we have deep soccer thoughts. We have, again, some special correspondents. That's a big surprise there. We'll get into loan sign sell. And, of course, we got the soccer minute of appreciation. So, yeah, nice full show for you guys. Obviously, I want to hear from you, so drop some of your good comments in there. Keep the conversation going, and Monty will send me the best ones that we need to talk about. But first things first, I want to make sure, and I'm going to use a Joshua Kimmich quote to kind of get the party started here. He said this the other day where he said, I think it's good that it's not just one player protesting, and maybe it's also an option to say something as a team, which I think a lot of teams have done. We're one world, one club, one football team, and it doesn't matter if you are black or white. We as footballers, like Jadon Sancho, have a lot of power to reach other people and to be role models and to say something, because what we say, people outside listen. So this is a big chance to make a statement. As a football player, you have a big power in this world. And so my opinion is that we can feel this responsibility and that we're able to say something like Sancho did. And I think there's a lot of responsibility on white people in particular to keep this message going. So I wanted to start the show here because we had Kai on a couple days ago, and I thought he was great. He's such a awesome human being, and I loved being his teammate, and I love watching what he does now. And he's got so much positive energy. To think that he gets treated differently because of the color of his skin is it makes me incredibly sad. But again, I want to say that ultimately it's about what we, the white people, do. I think when no one is watching, right, we're having conversations with our friends or our relatives who may be directly racist or don't really know that they're being racist, but they are. They might take their privilege and status for granted. So I just kind of wanted to get that out there. I actually had a really meaningful conversation with one of my closest friends, and he watched the Kai Kamara stuff, and he sent me this long thing, this text, and I felt like I owed him money for saying all the nice things that came out of what he saw and how he is starting to look at his privilege in a different way. And what was really interesting was that he was holding on to the fact that he didn't want to buy into white privilege. He grew up paycheck to paycheck family, very similarly to me. And he really worked very hard to get to where he has gotten. And he's doing very well for himself and has got a beautiful wife and family and house and the American dream, as it were. And he was just stubborn. He didn't want to acknowledge that there might have been some white privilege. He wanted it to be like, no, I earned this and nobody should take it away from me or cheapen it because of that. But because of all the discourse that we're having, he's starting to look at it in a different way. And it's been really cool to see him evolve in some ways, to understand that, yes, your path was difficult, but imagine if you were black, how much harder that would have been. And maybe you wouldn't have achieved the same things or had the same types of opportunities. So it was really enlightening, and I just wanted to start the show there because I think it's really important that we continue the conversation and even if it's uncomfortable, to have these revelations and continue to push and challenge each other. And in fact, there was some really nasty discourse from some Brazilian influencer, and I had to call it Instagram on Twitter yesterday. Accountability is huge, so we got to make sure we hold each other accountable. And it's the same thing you would do on the field, right? If somebody's not pulling their weight or doing what's right for everybody else and for the best interest of the team, you got to hold them accountable and make sure that they're doing their job. So just wanted to start there. Anyway, let's get right into it. Good news, bad news is coming up.
Good news, bad news.
Now, before we do anything with this regard to good news, bad news, I have a special correspondent who is he's on top of it. He knows his stuff. I mean, there's just no denying. I want to try to poke holes in what he's trying to say, but you just can't. And here he is, Corey with a K.
Let's go kick it with Corey.
Another day, another wave. Whoa, that was actually sick. Hold on, I gotta write that down. I don't want to forget that. Okay, another starts with the letter You know what? I'll remember it. I'll write it down later. What's good, my fellow Wave Riders? It's your boy Corey with a K. And who am I kicking it with today, you might be asking? Well, I'm kicking it with the star striker of Tottenham Hotspurs, Harry Kane. What's good, Harrison? It's a nickname I give him sometimes. Whatever. Now, you're probably a little confused and wondering, Corey, why are you hanging out with Harry Kane? Don't you hate Tottenham Hotspurs? Well, first of all, no hate here. If you or someone you know is a hater, please get away from me because I'm allergic. Like, I literally went to the doctor, shout out Dr. Todd, one time, and he prescribed me with some medication to keep the haters away. I think he called it like Claritin or something. I don't remember what the name of it. Secondly, dude, I don't judge people on where they come from, what they look like, their beliefs, their backgrounds, etc. If they're coming through with that positive energy, that's all that matters to me, dude. I love it. I'm there. So my boy Harry over here hit me up and was like, yo, I bet I can eat more Totina's pizza rolls than you in an hour. And I was like, challenge accepted, dude. Listen, I'm always down for a challenge, no matter how big or small. It could be asking out a really cute girl to go get ice cream with you, or gapping a 10 stare in front of that cute girl and then riding to go get ice cream. So me, Harry, and Eddie Hazard, our boy Eddie Hazard came through too. We went at it, and honestly, it was a landslide. Harry won. That's kind of why he looks a little overweight right now. But I know he'll lose it, just like I hope Tottenham lose literally every single game they play. Absolutely gonna get a rematch with him soon, though. He's not gonna beat me twice in a row. But anyway, stay positive. I love you guys.
Let's go kick it with Corey.
All right, is there anything better than kicking it with Corey? I'm not quite sure. I think about, well, you could do this, or you could hang out with and kick it with Corey. Corey's awesome, by the way. And it's hard. Again, it's hard to poke holes in what he's trying to say. Somebody said, oh, he definitely lives in LA. He definitely smokes the cabbage. I don't know anybody that smokes cabbage. Maybe you have a different different usage of the word. And he is, as Creator K says in the chat, he is global. He's not just LA. He's everywhere, baby. So let's talk about now. This is the good news part, because I'm excited that the Premier League is back. But look at Harry Kane. Now, I'm not into body shaming, right? That's unacceptable in a lot of different ways. However, there's a caveat here, because when you're a professional athlete, being in shape, having a good body is important to your craft, right? Being fit. This, for me, we're looking at the same. I got to look at it like this. This, for me, I don't think he was doing the right things during the quarantine. That's like the Eden Hazard, this is what I do kind of thing, okay? But there's others. Excuse me, there's others. Like one in particular. Now this guy, I think you know who, Mo Salah, right? He is definitely taking advantage. I mean, look at that. I will never look like that. I could try my hardest and still never look like that. That guy's an absolute beast. But then you got this guy who we could argue is on the Harry Kane. Maybe they were hanging out together and with Corey eating Totino. What is it called? Tostinos? I don't even know. I've never eaten them before. So I don't even know. Look at, he can't even get his bra over his thing because he's got, it doesn't matter. And then this is an interesting one for me with regard to bodies in particular. I don't know if you saw this or not, but Leon Goretzka for Bayern Munich. I mean, that is an incredible transformation. I know that didn't happen just over the quarantine, or if it did, then we have some big question marks if that happened just over the quarantine, because I feel like he's being impacted and maybe swallowing some things or injecting some things that could help him out. That is a crazy transformation. I mean, I don't know what you guys think about that. This is a crazy, I don't know. I still, people aren't questioning how he did that. Is it just creatine? Is he friends with Lance Armstrong? Like, what is happening here? Still, Big Dan says that's a year. 1 year? That is like every day in the weight room for a year. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say on that. Okay, so what I really want to get into, because this is still a good news thing, because I'm happy that the Premier League is back. Let's talk about Chelsea. Now, I know Clev loves Chelsea. I got friends, George Benson loves Chelsea. I know a lot of people that love Chelsea. Chelsea is making moves, by the way. Absolutely making moves. They just purchased, what's his name? Let me find him right here. I'm wearing the jersey right now, actually. Ajax midfielder Hakim Ziyech. This guy can ball it up. right? So you're already adding this type of talent to a very good midfield. He gives you a lot more, I don't know, he's more dynamic. He makes the midfield more dynamic. He gives you options, variables, right? He makes the offense more unpredictable for the opponent, which is what you want. Frank Lampard is going to have a lot of options on his hands. But now we're hearing, it's very close, that I think you guys already know. Timo Werner, let me throw him up here. Timo Werner, and Mike K throwing him in the proper jersey, though I feel like his junk's right in my face, Mike. I don't know if that was the right photo. But Timo Werner could be coming to the Blues, and apparently it's very close. Testylo's in the chat going overrated. Is he overrated? Is he? I guess we're going to find out. But partnering him with Tammy Abraham, or if you can play him out on the wing as well, and you have Ziyech on one side and Timo Werner on the other with Tammy Abraham in between, he's coming into his own and getting a lot of confidence. These guys are good. And I feel like if they do get all these pieces and then potentially add Jadon Sancho, which is a possibility, and Ben Chilwell, which they definitely need a left back, they are going to be competing for the Premier League. And it hurts me to say that because I kind of like seeing the Chelsea fans suffer a bit because they had, they were the Man City before Man City where they purchased trophies with Roman Abramovich. And now, they've suffered a little bit. So you feel like it's kind of cool to see them suffer. Look, I'm a Newcastle fan, right? You guys can see it. It sucks. We suffer all the time. Derp says Werner is Morata 2.0. I don't know. I like Morata's game. I don't think he really obviously didn't translate very well into the Premier League, didn't make the most of his opportunities. But Werner's different. I think Werner would do a little bit better. I wonder, though, with these types of moves, what happens to Pedro and Willian? Are they going to be on the move? I know that I think Barcelona should have sold Willian. Or excuse me, Chelsea should have sold Willian to Barcelona when they had the chance, especially if they're going to do these things in the future. Another thing that I'm concerned about, let me throw the Chelsea badge back up. Another thing that I am concerned about, sorry about that, I don't know why it popped all the way up there, is what happens to Christian Pulisic, our American Lord and Savior? Because when you start adding all these guys, and then you have Mason Mount, you got Kovacic in midfield, obviously, N'Golo Kanté is going to stay where he is. What happens to Jorginho? Do we know? He's probably going back to Italy. Is Maurizio Sarri calling him at Juventus? I don't know. But and then you got Hudson-Odoi as well. It becomes a lot more competitive for Christian Pulisic, and they paid a lot of money for him, and they're going to pay more for him than Timo Werner, which I thought, that's interesting piece of business. Now, I know that Pulisic is very marketable, especially here in the States, but anyway. All right, Mount is garbage. I love you guys. Man, the chat's blowing up right now. I love you guys. Okay, let's get into the next thing here. What do you guys think about Liverpool? Because they had the opportunity to bring in. They had him. They had Timo Werner. Timo Werner wanted to go to Liverpool, and they didn't want to pay the £60 million to get him. They wanted to instead reinvest in the guys and give better contracts to the players that are going to now win them the league, because they're definitely going to win the league. Won them the Champions League last year and got them to the Champions League final before. And I respect that. But at some point, you got to figure out ways to strengthen your squad. I don't know where Timo Werner would have fit in right away, because is he going to really replace Salah and Mane? Absolutely not. And Bobby Firmino, like that threesome, just they've got something. They've got that rapport. Now, as we know, if you want to compete in multiple competitions, you have to have some very, very good depth. And Timo Werner would have done that. But I feel like he would slot in right away for me at Chelsea, and at Liverpool he wouldn't. So I wouldn't be surprised if he maybe leveraged that Liverpool interest to get some other interest from another Premier League club, and he got it, and this might be a better fit for him. But I didn't know what you guys thought with regard to Liverpool. Now, a AAA Battery 15, I'm going to go back to this. He says that Pulisic is done and gives the LOL. I hope not. I really hope not. I hope that he finds a way to get into the team. If there's a spot for him, I think he's better out wide. But if you have Ziyech and you have Werner in the team, it's going to be hard, I think, in some ways to break in. But there are going to be a lot of games. They're going to be playing in a lot of games. Maybe he could drop down and just maybe replace Mount in some ways and try to find a different spot and find pockets in the midfield to make that happen. I think there's a couple spots that Frank Lampard could have him or play him, excuse me. But you have that, and then they get Chilwell. They really, I feel like that's a big weakness for them. Marcus Alonso's great going forward, not so much defensively. So you get a guy who's pretty good, but they're asking for $80 million. Leicester, they rate him the same as Harry Maguire, but we could argue that Manchester United way overpaid for Harry Maguire because that was actually more expensive than Virgil van Dijk, and it's just Leicester's Leicester's going for it. Now, I respect what they're doing there, and they're producing some good players, and everybody's getting picked off, right? But yeah, anyway. So I didn't know what you guys' thoughts were. And then, yeah, you're right. If they bring in Sancho, AAA comes back, yeah, then you're right. Then he's done. Then Pulisic's going to have a really tough time. All right, let's get into the next. What else did I want to? Oh, yeah, let's keep it in the Premier League. How about this? Manchester United retains Igalo until January 2021. They extended his loan. I think that's a really big deal for United. They need someone like him. And what I really like about Igalo more than anything is his spirit. I mean, the guy grew up as a Manchester United fan, and you could tell that he loves it. And he's so grateful for the opportunity. And that's not to say the other players aren't. I just feel like those other guys are under so much criticism all the time, whether it's Martial or Rashford or Lingard. They just get nitpicked. All the Pogba's another one, that when you bring a guy like this he's just such a breath of fresh air for the team, and I think, and for the fans, and then he scores some goal. He's great, and I'm glad they've kept him. I think it addresses their problem a little bit. He's obviously on the wrong side of 30, so they got to figure out different things to help this. Sancho could definitely help here. I think they have to make some moves, or they got to move Pogba. I don't know if you guys saw the Pogba to Real Madrid thing, and then they getting like 4 players in return. I would do that if I was them. And then let's go to Spurs. They got like a $175 million loan from the government. I think this writes its own joke. You know, why would the government loan them when they know they're not going to win any trophies? Like, why waste the money, you know? Yeah, I'm here. That's what I'm here for. And then let's go to bad news. This is some bad news, and this is just another bad joke, but I'm going to do it anyway because I was prepared for it, and now I'm trying to find where everything is. I'm going to take the good sticker down. And I don't know if you guys saw this. Kevin Durant, NBA superstar Kevin Durant, he is now a minority owner. He's got a small stake in the Philadelphia Union. And I question why. If he wants to win trophies, I don't think you're going to. Why the Union? They are cursed. Now, I love the coach, Jim Curtin, who's a friend. Pat Noonan's an assistant coach, another good friend. Ownership group, very cool. The fans are awesome. But they don't win big games. They just don't win big games. They're cursed. They've been to the U.S. Open Cup final, which is the FA Cup for the U.S. and MLS, and they've been in it 3 times and lost all 3. Why? You know, he leaves the Golden State Warriors, and now he goes to Brooklyn. He's not winning anything there. He does this. Kevin Durant, why not another club? I respect it, though. I'm glad he's in the league. Don't get me wrong. But I just don't think he's going to win any trophies with Philly. Maybe he'll prove me wrong. I'm sure all the Philly fans will cut this out and like what Jimmy said on his Twitch stream and his Power Hour. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Shut up, Jimmy. Okay, maybe I will shut up. Okay, fine. All right, let me go back to good news. Let's go to good news again, because we have a special guest who only has a few minutes to join us. So I want to get to them for sure. All right, here we go. Serie A is coming back, everyone. And I'm excited about that. So we can see Juventus win the league for the 100th straight time. And Ronaldo and his hair or whatever he's doing and out jumping people. And I don't know why I added the jumping. He's just really good in the air. I just wanted to take a moment to talk about that. Now, I will say the good news is that it's coming back. And I think the great news about this is that of every country I've traveled to, the most racist country I feel like from a fan perspective, has been Italy. They can come at me if they want. Listen, I'm a huge Roma supporter, and I love the city of Rome, and the people are normally warm to me, and probably because I'm white. But the type of abuse that I've seen and read about and heard from players, it's just unreal. So in some ways, I'm glad that fans can't go to the game so they can't racially abuse any of their players. Of course, they can go online and probably do it, and they do it anyway. But that's the great news about Serie A coming back. All right, we might have to get back to good news, bad news in a second. I got some more things to talk about, but I want to throw it over to our guest. He's a really, really special person. I'm going to have to get him up on the old Skypers really quick, so you're going to have to bear with me as I get this sorted out. But actually, before we do that, I did want to... There are moments where I just have this reflection where I want to be by myself. I don't want any music on. I don't want any social media. I don't want any screens in front of me. And I have these very deep thoughts. And I think that you should check out the one I just had recently.
Do you ever wonder why trick shot artists are called artists? I feel like they should be called trick shot. It took me 80 takes and countless hours to get this right, but I'm gonna act like I did it on the first try, people. I know it doesn't roll off the tongue quite as nicely, but I think it'll do. And damn, that was deep.
All right, I want to bring him in right now. It's Phil Jones. How are you?
Hello, Jimmy.
How are you
I'm
doing?
very well. I've got my 3 lions on the shirt, even though I haven't played for England in 5 years.
Yeah, I really appreciate you taking the time. I'm sure you're busy now trying to get back in shape. I don't know. Are you eating a lot like Harry Kane and Kevin De Bruyne, or are you doing the Mo Salah kind of super
Yes,
fit
Jimmy.
kind of guy?
It's called bulking, and I've got my hair is extra long because of the quarantine as well. But I'm really grateful to be on here with you and a chance to talk to people, because everyone thinks that, oh, Phil Jones, he's just a bad defender. He doesn't have bants like Lingard. I can be like Lingard.
I don't know if you'll ever be like Lingard. It definitely won't be as good, but I appreciate the enthusiasm that you bring to the defensive position as a former defender.
Thank you. I just see defending as kind of an interpretive dance where I get to express myself through the art of giving away goals.
Well, then you're an artiste in my mind. Now you came on to the Power Hour to do something specifically. I have a picture of you right next to your face right now. What exactly are we doing?
Yes, Jimmy, we're going to play a little internet game. These are very popular on the web right now, and this one is called Make the Face. Jingle, graphics, more graphics. In, jingle. Hi, everyone. I'm Phil Jones, and this is Make the Face with me, Phil Jones. Jimmy, thanks for coming on. Are you ready to make the face?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Great.
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Here's how it works. Jimmy and I will both make the face, and then you in the chat need to vote and say who made the face the best. Now, the first face is my face. You're looking at it now, and you're looking at it there. Jimmy, let's make the face.
Okay. How long are we supposed to hold it?
That's good enough.
I think I did it better.
You think you did it better? Well, I don't know. I'll leave that into the hands of the fans, because that's what football is all about. Oh,
okay, hopefully everybody in the chat's voting for me. I love this. Make the Face with Phil Jones by Phil Jones, hosted by Phil Jones. All right, okay, and then the next one is it's Gigi Buffon.
This is Buffon. Jimmy, let's get ready and make the face.
Am I doing it?
How am I doing it?
Who's winning?
Good.
I think yours is pretty good, actually.
That hurts a lot, Jimmy, to make the face. That's what happens when I'm making the face in these games. It's because my internal soul is anguished. Well, I think
it's 1-1 right now, from what I'm understanding in the. Okay, so we got the last one. It's a tiebreaker.
It's time for an extra time winner, Jimmy. Who's it going to be? This is a Fellaini face. Cue it up.
It's up.
Make the face.
Okay. I don't think I. Am I winning?
I'm trying myself to make the face better.
I can't. I don't know if I can replicate that. You're right. I think you're winning.
Am I making the face? Am I making it?
Yeah, I think you're getting.
Oh, I popped a vein. Oh, God. Well, I think they've given me the W, Jimmy, which I've not had in quite some time, I'll be honest.
Hudson, Phil Jones, I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
I'm glad that you won your own game. That I think that's apt.
That's the point of games, Jimmy. Now, I do have to go. I have to wash Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's socks. He says if I do, he'll give me 2 minutes against Burnley. Yeah,
2 minutes? Just 2 minutes?
Against Burnley.
Wow.
I'm going to give up an own goal.
All right. Well, good luck with that, and good luck the rest of the season, Phil Jones.
To play and make the face.
Phil Jones, everyone. All right, we're going to take a short break. It's halftime. Get those orange slices out. All right, everyone. Welcome back. Second half is, I'm still can't get enough of Phil Jones. I mean, taking time out of his busy schedule to be here. But yes, welcome back to the second half of the Power Hour. We're going to get right into loan sign sell. So let me get into that. Where is that fun tab? Here we go. Hold on. I got some work to do to get this set up. But we're going to get this going. I saw some great loan sign sells in the chat. One in particular, Mike K., Monty Rossetti, and John Hudson. 3 moderators. They're making me decide between 3 moderators and guys that are on my team to help produce all the content that I make on all the platforms. So that's a tough one. I don't even know if I want to answer that. Yeah, I'm going to get all this sorted out here. Hold on a sec. And we're going to jump into loan sign sell, as you're about to see. There's loan sign sell. And I am going to get into one that we had already predetermined. So before I get into anything that you guys want me to answer, we had one ready to go, and I want you to answer this as well in the chat, and I'll read out some of my favorites, okay? Andrea Pirlo, our Lord and Savior, who we have a shrine to him, okay? So I think you guys know where I'm probably going to go with that. Then you have Zidane, and then you have Riquelme. Now, Boca Juniors is one of my favorite Argentinian team, one of my favorite clubs in the world. That's tough. I played against Zidane. I didn't get his jersey, though. I tried. I don't think I ever told that part of the story. I tried to get Zidane's jersey first, had to settle for David Beckham. What are you going to do? Right? So obviously I have a ton of respect for him and what he's achieved in his career, both on and off the field. But yeah, so with regard to this one in particular, I'm going to start here. Let's see. So, I mean, let's be honest. Andrea Pirlo, definitely signing. I think that I would probably loan... Oh my, this is a tough one. So, I love Riquelme. I think he's a really special player, but I know that he can be difficult at times, and he might not be the easiest player to play with. So you have to take that in consideration when I'm making, or at least I do, this decision. But I definitely want to see you guys. But I'm going to sign Pirlo, and I'm biased because I love the guy. I think I'm going to go... Oh, man. I think I probably would loan out Riquelme, because then he could come back and we just pick and spot. Whenever he's in a good mood is when Riquelme is awesome. And then I would sell Zidane because I think we'd just get a gajillion dollars for him. So that's really my mindset. I think we'd get the most money for Zidane. I could probably get 5 really good players for the price of Zidane. And you can't obviously replicate what Zidane brings to the table. But yeah, that's what I'm doing. You know what? Just, if you're mad at me, then you're just mad at me. I'm going to have to accept it. Okay, Clev says Zidane, then Pirlo, then Riquelme. So loan. I don't know which way he's doing there. The Grimbele, what's up? You say sell Zidane. Okay, we're on the same. Sell Riquelme and sign Pirlo. You're selling everybody. You're just keeping Pirlo. I'm okay with that because Pirlo's my guy. You sign Riquelme, says Martin. You loan Pirlo and you sell Zidane. I think we're all on the same page there. But your bias is showing for Riquelme, and I love it. Big Dan says sign Zidane, loan Pirlo, and sell Riquelme. Now, I could see why you'd want to sell Riquelme just because he doesn't last very long when the clubs he does play for. But I don't know if you ever go watch. He did well at Barcelona. He maybe didn't fit in because they had some pieces that were very similar to him, but then he dominated at Villarreal for a little while, got them to the Champions League semifinals, and there's a lot of great stuff there. And when he's motivated and surrounded by players that understand him, he is, for me, one of the top number 10s that have ever played. So, yeah, I appreciate you guys that. What else we got? Oh, Clev says Conte, Jorginho, and Kovacic. That's a good one. Loan sign sell. Conte, Jorginho, Kovacic. Conte, for me, 100% going to sign. I would probably loan out Kovacic at this point, and then I would sell Jorginho. Jorginho is a Maurizio Sarri project. I think if you're only thinking it through the lens of Chelsea, then I think Jorginho, though an excellent player, maybe doesn't fit what Lampard's trying to do. So that would be it. And now with regard to loan sign sell, for the guys that are on my team that are helping me do this, so we got Mike K, we got Monty, and we got Hudson. This is an easy one for me. Gonna sell Hudson. We got a guy out of here. That guy's out. I'm selling him. He's out. Actually, I should probably loan him back to Kick TV. And then I'm gonna sign Mike K. He's been with me the longest. And then I'm going to loan out Monty, who used to work for the San Jose Earthquakes, back to the Earthquakes because I want him to stay in the soccer space. And then when he gets more experience, even though I think he's got a ton already, I can bring him back in. He can be even more valuable, getting that feel, being around Matias Almeida, who I think is an awesome coach and a great personality. So that's my thing on that. But speaking of Mike K, or should I say Corey with a K, he's going to be joining us here in a second for Remember That. Yeah, I got Monty in my ear saying that hurts. But you know what? Before we do that, though, I just it's tradition here. And I didn't do it last show for I think, obvious reasons, but we got to do it now. Check this out. It's called Rolling the Clip.
Again, as Bruce alluded to before, I think Conrad Bocanegra is definitely a guy that has to be a major target on this play.
Number 4 for the United States. Lennon sends it in, the header, and it's into the back of the net. The United States strikes, and it's Jimmy Conrad. Jimmy Conrad finds the net. 1-0 USA. Jimmy Conrad, a late bloomer. He'll be 30 next Monday. A big goal in his career.
Well, I mean, you have such a game, a defensive game, the kind that he's had already tonight.
Conrad. And the throw in. Considering the good work of Jimmy Conrad.
All right, I want to welcome in Corey with a K. Now we see some Fellaini there. That was the last shot of us doing the stuff with Phil Jones. I can't believe he was on the Power Hour. That's a big deal. But we have Corey with a K. Thank you so much. You came on earlier, had a nice little segment about Harry Kane and how he was sharing snacks and had a snack challenge with you. You seem pretty proud of that, but I expect that you think he's going to shed that weight at some point.
I mean, I think so. That's all I have to say on that, honestly.
Okay. I appreciate that. Okay, so let's get to this. Now, we're doing a segment. We do it with all of our guests as well, and you're going to fill in at this point, Corey with the K. It's called Remember That. And in honor of Martin Braithwaite celebrating his 29th birthday, I wanted to reflect on some of the things that he did in his 28th year. One, I think one of the biggest things that could ever happen to a player is to you're part of a small club like Leganés in La Liga, and then he got purchased by Barcelona. Now, I think there was some transfer window thing there, and it just felt like it was favoring Barcelona, who used the rule because whatever, we don't need to get into that side of it. But I will say that he did have one of the best unveilings of all time. Actually, he could barely juggle because I think he was so nervous. What do you say about Martin Braithwaite as we see him here trying to juggle and make mistakes as he gets unveiled to the Barcelona audience?
Personally, I mean, I liked his vibe when he came out. He wasn't afraid to make mistakes. Maybe he was just giving the fans like a taste of like, hey, this might happen in a game at some point. I might try to do this trick, but it probably won't work. So I just want to like make sure you're used to that. And he was just I think he was just vibing, honestly. Like he looked comfortable in his own skin. And isn't that like what's important in the beautiful game and life?
I actually get the sense that maybe he was trying to lower expectations. That if he was crap at his unveiling, then everybody like, oh, actually this guy isn't very good. And then anytime he stepped on the field and did something well, they're like, whoa, look at this Braithwaite guy. He's awesome. You know? No? Are we vibing on that?
There were so many things going on in my earbuds just now that I didn't know what was going on. I couldn't hear a goddamn thing.
Yeah, I hate when that happens.
Well, but like Martin Braithwaite, he's not that good, but you know, it's still cool that he's on Barcelona. I mean, that's like a dream move and a dream place to be.
Well, we wanted to get the video up just to kind of I did at first want to have a video if we could see it, but then I felt bad kind of replaying that. But I just wanted to get into Remember That because it was just so obviously bad. But it did remind me of some other times where there was some either gimmicky or other unveilings that were a little bit I don't know if they're that great. I'm going to let you decide, okay? So right now, taking that into consideration, Brian Robson, when he got named as player manager for Middlesbrough back in the day, the top half of him was as a manager, and the bottom half was, it looks like he's wearing underwear, frankly.
It looks like, yeah.
I mean, he's definitely smuggling plums in those shorts. I don't know why is he not wearing boots or cleats or whatever the hell you want to call it. There's a lot going on here that I don't understand, Corey.
No, see, no, I understand though. They didn't wear cleats back then.
Oh, he just.
They
Ah,
didn't wear cleats back then. I
they
feel
were
like
that
that's
tough,
common
right?
knowledge.
Ah, okay.
They
Yeah.
got a better feel for the ball because like the energy from the ball, there's not that barrier of the leather that with the boot, and then like that's why they played barefoot.
So would you say
You
this
can
is
connect with the ball better.
Would you say this is better than Braithwaite's or worse?
Oh, this is so much better. Like that is a 1000% absolute fit right there. I love that. I mean, like as a man of fashion, I wouldn't say I'm the trendiest, but I try. I mean, you can see my like tigers on this shirt, which are cool. Tigers are cool. But that is like a revolutionary thing, and the fact that like he went out of his way to pull his shorts up to make them look like underwear is bold, but I respect that
So
heavily.
so fun fact for you, I heard that Brian Robson is a bit of a flirt. I think that might be the best way to say it. Maybe womanizer seemed kind of strong, but a bit of a flirt and not afraid to have a drink here and there. And I did an event with him in New York City, and it was me, him, and a couple other fellow former Premier League players of the same age from that era. I don't
Sure.
even know why I got asked to be on the panel. I just think because I was a
You're
former
great.
American.
You're great. You're
No,
great energy.
I do. I appreciate that. You know,
You're
I mean,
welcome.
that's why I think we get along.
Yeah.
But they were doing an auction as well to raise money, and some woman was bidding, or she asked him a question, and he then proceeded to like, well, what are you doing later in front of this? Yeah, it was really super awkward,
Oh
dude.
man.
Yeah.
Like
So the
shoot.
guy's a legend, I know, like
Yeah.
on the field, but off the field, I heard, yeah, and I saw some evidence of like, whoa, this got really awkward in the whole room. There were like a couple hundred people in the room going, how do you peel off of that?
Like
Yeah, I don't know.
shoot your shot, but be
Shoot your
respectful.
shot.
Be respectful though.
Okay. All
Like
right.
that. Like I wonder. Now we have DMs.
Yeah. But I don't get the sense that he knows how to use DMs. He doesn't look like he's
Don't
technically
judge
savvy.
don't judge a book
Technologically
by its
savvy.
cover. I mean, look at like he's smart enough to pull off a fit like that. I think he's smart enough to be able to use Instagram direct messages.
That's true. That's fair. All right. It looks like Davidello says that those socks seem photoshopped. They do look a little photoshopped, but then he'd have no socks at all. He'd just be out there with nothing on. He'd just be showing off his quadzillas right now. Clev says he dressed like how his time with Middlesbrough would be, which was tragic. All right. That seemed below the belt, but I approve of a little shade. And then Martine says not as bad as Giza juggling at Mallorca. I haven't seen that one, so you might have to drop a link, or we'll have to bring that up in the next show. All right, let's go to our last one here of Remember That. And this one is American International Omar Gonzalez, when he left MLS and LA Galaxy to sign with Pachuca, and he got introduced and he wore a Darth Vader costume. I don't. So I'm friends with Omar. I don't really know what
Me too.
what the intent was. Well, I don't know what he was trying to signal that, other than he's just like a super badass that slaughters Padawans.
I think it's just saying that he can use the Force. Like he literally like you think it's a thing just from the movie Star Wars, but the Force is real. It exists, and he has it. And he's like, I feel like the only way I can get that across to these people is by for some reason dressing up as Darth Vader.
Okay.
Does that mean he's evil though?
I mean, that's the thing. I don't know. There's a lot to unpack here. Like what?
I hope not. I don't like evil people.
Did he get unveiled on Halloween? I can't remember. I need more details in my life about.
I
this
honestly,
decision.
Is that even him?
Well, we could argue maybe he didn't want to show up, and they just put
They got
somebody
Darth
else in
Vader.
Darth
No,
Vader. Maybe they went and got Darth Vader.
Yeah, probably. I
Wow.
mean, he's like now that the movie series is over, he's available.
Yeah, well, I don't know how you guys feel about the Star Wars movies. I could probably do a whole power hour on my feeling about that.
They're good.
Yeah, I don't know.
You quote me on
Anyway,
that.
Corey with the K, thank you so much for your time. It's great to see you.
Thank you so much for your time, and I love you, dude.
I love you too, man.
I love you so
great
much.
Vibes. Great
Yeah.
vibes. Enjoy that cabbage.
Thanks. I will.
There he is, Corey with the K. All right, let's get back to something that I wanted to do, everyone, that I didn't get to finish was a little bit more of good news, bad news. Now, I know they have the loan sign sell up, but I will change that really quick, and we'll get good news up, because I wanted to finish this. We put a lot of time into this, and I don't want it to go away. I don't want it to disappear. But there's the next story that we wanted to get into. Actually, I want to say this is a bad news thing. Let me go back up. Because I want to talk about this. I think it's unacceptable. And it was Benfica. I don't know if you guys saw this or not. Benfica, a couple fans threw rocks at the bus after they drew with Tondela 0-0 at home, which was their third straight draw, which drops them even with Porto with 9 games left to go at the top of the table. Porto has the tiebreaker advantage, so that is not a good thing here. But let me get to one of the players was Julian Weigl, and he said, "Hey everyone, I just want to let you know that I'm okay. We were really lucky. We're all doing mistakes, but there was a line crossed. Throwing rocks on a bus without caring if someone gets hurt. I know that's not how the real Benfica fans are, especially these past weeks and days. It should have shown us that it's always better solution to stand together instead of literally throwing rocks at each other. Thank you for your kind messages." I don't understand this mentality. Essentially, this is where I wanted to go. I don't understand why you'd want to hurt your own players. There's different ways, let me say, to voice your displeasure with how the team is playing. Also, I feel like there should be some level of understanding that these guys haven't trained very much. They're not in the middle. I mean, yes, technically they're in the middle of the season, but they haven't really lent itself to being, they're not sharp. They're just not sharp anymore, right? And I think that makes a big difference. So that would be one of the things that I wanted to bring up, because I don't understand this, and I don't know how anybody could back up that type of behavior, and I don't understand why someone wouldn't say, "Hey, what are we doing? Why are we throwing rocks at the team bus?" I mean, they could have really significantly hurt somebody, and you can see the player on our left that he got hit in the eye, and I know he hasn't talked about the severity of it, but what if he took out a player? I mean, if that player's eye got taken out, he can't play anymore. That's unreal to me that you do that to your own fans or to anybody else's players. Or own players. I just don't get it. Yeah, so I mean, Shane says, "What's up, Shane? You know what's up." There's absolutely no justification for that. You know, I do sometimes marvel at other sets of fans. I feel like I've seen it in Turkey before, where if the team isn't playing very well, one of the big clubs, they like swarm the bus and they demand that the players come out and face them eye to eye. Like, I don't mind that so much. Yeah, it's a little bit intense, but it doesn't. There's still a line there, as Julian Weigl says, that like trying to physically hurt the players isn't going to solve any problems, and in some ways it can make it worse. So I don't know. I just think that it's unacceptable, and I just wanted to say that. Yeah, you're right. You should ban those. Those fans should definitely be banned, and hopefully they get brought to justice in some capacity. So I wanted to bring that up and talk about it, because I think we're all on the same page, but I just wanted to bring some attention to it, that this is unacceptable in a lot of different ways. And then the last one, I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but there was a player on the LA Galaxy. Okay, and his name is Aleksandar Katai, and sorry about that. Let me bring this down. And what happened recently was that his wife went to Instagram on her Instagram stories and was being racist and was saying that the cops should run over all the protesters. And there was some backtracking. He didn't say anything. These things got circulated by obviously Galaxy fans and people going, why would she say these things? The Galaxy then come out and put out a statement, or actually I think Galaxy I think put the statement out first, saying we don't agree with this. This isn't something, obviously doing all the standard stuff that they should be doing, right, in these types of situations, distancing themselves, socially and media distancing themselves from these comments. And then Katai comes out and puts out a statement which feels very polished. And apparently, as I did some research and players that knew him, he doesn't, I mean, his English is his second language, so he doesn't speak as eloquently as that statement looked like. And so, obviously it looked like he probably got some PR help. And I mean, he said all the right things and everything, but what just happened today is that he got let go from the Galaxy. And I wanted to talk to you guys about whether you think that's fair that his wife made these comments and yet he's being let go. So it's there they are right there. I mean, if she's making these comments at home, and she clearly was, I mean, you're not going to go to Instagram if you're not saying the same stuff in real life to your spouse. I mean, when I have conversations with my wife, we're talking about the real life stuff, and I pretty much have a really good idea where she stands on things, and she knows where I stand on things. And so she makes these comments. That means in some ways, I think we can make the assumption, a fair assumption, maybe not because it's an assumption, but still, I think we can still maybe at least look into it and speculate that she's saying these same things to him, and he's not saying, "Hey, that's not cool. Like that's not right." That's the same type of stuff that I expressed at the beginning of the show, that we have to hold each other accountable for this to actually change in a meaningful way. And I'd like to think that either he shares the same mentality and he's just saying what he has to say to keep his job, or he's just not holding her accountable. Even if he doesn't believe it, it's still to have that in the household. I don't know if they have kids, but if that's the kind of stuff, that's not helping the cause either. I'll get you guys' comments on that. Tostado says, no, I don't think it's fair, but I get it. Okay. Yeah, I get it as well. I think as that started to grow and get bigger, they had to make a decision on him. And I think it would have tainted his whole season, frankly. They'd just be answering those same types of questions over and over and over about why you'd want to keep this guy. So that's interesting. AC says, I think someone inside the club must know more and that we don't know enough to be able to judge. That's fair. But I wanted to bring it to everybody's attention that this happened and that he got let go. That is for us to not necessarily judge, but to discuss, right? To have a peaceful discourse about whether we think this is fair or not, and whether you agree with what the Galaxy did. It's interesting. As Shane says, LA have to protect their brand. He represents their brand by playing for them. Now, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but the Galaxy are owned by an owner, Phil Anschutz, who, from what I know, is a really sweet guy. I've met him before, and he's done a lot to keep the league afloat when it was struggling for a while. But I have found out in the last year or two that he quietly donates to anti-LGBT groups. So I find it interesting that you can hold the players to the standard, but not your owner, and that you're willing to somehow find an excuse to make it that's okay, but that's not okay. Now, that's not okay for sure, 100%. But why is that okay? And I feel like maybe the Man City fans and other clubs that City owns, that ownership group has human rights violations on their hands. And if you go support the 2022 Qatar World Cup, there's a lot there. That's all I'm saying. And I'm just swaying. I'm just swaying back and forth. But that's just, I find that interesting. That and it must be, it's got to be hard, I guess, as a supporter, because sports is an escape. But if you're going to hold a hard line on one issue, I feel like you should be consistent on all the stuff that potentially impacts your club in a negative way. Ethan says staying silent is a part of the problem. If he does hold her accountable, he's condoning it. Yes. Right. You're right. Staying silent. So yes, he needs to say something to her. He has to hold her accountable. And now, I don't know. Is there a lawsuit there? Because I wonder. I mean, I had these same player contracts. I'm sure they've evolved since I played in MLS, but I'm trying to figure out the clause, and I've seen enough contracts to know if you can get fired for your wife acting out and her behavior. I feel like there's a settlement there. I do agree with, you have to, probably at this point you have to distance yourself, as Shane and Tostilo say. But I wonder if there's something there. You just, okay, we're gonna have to let you go. This is just, it's too much, especially in this climate and just in general. And yeah, we'll just pay you out. We'll just pay out your contract and just be done with it. That might be the decision that you're gonna make. I don't know. So yeah, a lot to talk about, right? But interesting, really interesting. Zug Zwangen, what's up, dude? Good to see you. Grimbele, I appreciate everybody that's been watching. It's been a lot of fun. And I got one more thing for you guys. We're getting close to the hour being up. But I want to keep this conversation going. I didn't want to miss out on the opportunity to make that happen. So let's get into one more thing. Oh, I got to change the graphics. We worked so hard on this stuff. No, that's not the right one. What am I doing? Okay, here it is. I found it. And it is going to go way up here. And I'm going to take this guy down. All right, it's the Soccer Minute of Appreciation presented by the Soccer Minute. Make sure you follow @soccer_minutes on Instagram and Twitter. And our Minute of Appreciation is going to go to these gentlemen right here who went above and beyond to spread the message of support and love. And what I really love about these guys in particular who are taking that step and risking, right? And thankfully, the German FA came and said they're not going to punish these guys for showing their support for George Floyd and the movement that's happening in the United States. But yeah, I think it's great what they're doing and using their platform in a positive way. And we just wanted to take a moment here as a team to really show our respect and admiration for them taking that chance and and sending a strong message. I saw a really great tweet. I can't remember who did it, but just said that Jadon Sancho in particular, because he scored a few goals, had the chance to do this, and he really kind of set the stage, though Thuram did as well, that he's an English kid playing in Germany who is supporting a giant movement that's happening in the United States. Like, it's touching and impacting everybody. And this is a global issue, ultimately. We just have a really nasty history, and we're finally, or hopefully we're finally facing up to all the damage that we've done to a certain community of people and other communities that aren't white. Let's just come out and say it. Junior says these guys are absolute legends. That's exactly right. And I look forward to seeing what happens moving forward. I want to see more of this. Again, I don't want the conversation to go away. I don't want this to be a one-week fad. I don't get the sense that it will be, but in 6 months' time, I think what happens is that people get tired of hearing the same rhetoric and the narrative. Yes, we understand. We got to do this. We got to do that. It's the same thing with the pandemic. I feel like we're right on the heels of that. Yeah, I get it. I got to wear a mask. Got to be social distancing. I got to be 6 feet away. And you kind of tune it out. But it's important that it's okay to somewhat tune it out. But as long as you're doing the things behind the scenes to hold people accountable and to think through your privilege if you have it and all that stuff, I think it's gonna make a big difference and hopefully impact the next generation and the current generation in a really positive way as we start to make some inroads in terms of voting and whatever you have to do. There's already been some good votes that have started to change in this country, and I'd like to think come November, this country will look drastically different, and hopefully we'll put some judges in place. That's the hard part right now. If you guys follow politics at all in this country, is that Mitch McConnell, who runs the Senate, and President Trump are trying to put in as many of their judges as possible. So it could take a while to maybe reshape some of the laws that need to be reshaped. But I think it's a challenge that we're all ready for, and I can feel the energy for it. And so I just wanted to give a shout out, our Soccer Minute of Appreciation, presented by the Soccer Minute, for these 4 gentlemen in particular. And I hope that, and I assume we're going to see a lot more of this moving forward, and that's a very, very good thing. All right, for all you guys, for sticking with me throughout the many months of me being on Twitch, and for all the subs that are here and new and doing this thing and can really see what the Power Hour is going to turn into. And we have big plans to continue to do these and maybe even do them on a more regular basis. Right now, we're trying to ease our way into it and not get overwhelmed with what we're trying to accomplish. But it's time to shred. I think you guys know what's coming. Time to shred. Let me go get the guitar. For all you subs out there, thank you so much for your support. Everybody else that's following and just tuning in or whatever it is, stick around. We have a lot of special things planned for you guys. We have a nice mix of real talk and having fun and analyzing the game in an informative way. And yeah, anyway, it's time to shred. Let's do it. Before I let you go, get on with your beautiful day and have a great weekend. Make sure you follow me on all the other platforms. We've got some Coach Jimmys and some TikToks coming your way this weekend. But I found this, and it is, can you see it? Well, oh man, it's U.S. versus Italy, 2006. I found it in storage. My mom's moving out of our childhood house. That was actually pretty emotional for me. And, hold on, my hair. Look at my hair. I need like a Flowbee, is that what it's called? But yes, USA versus Italy 2006. I think we should watch this together at some point. I found a whole bunch of games. I can't, my aunt or my grandma or my uncle, somebody was taping all the games, all my old games. And I thought it'd be really cool at some point just to have a stream where I talk about what I did well and what I didn't do well and just kind of look and see. I don't even remember half these games, but I do remember this one. So I'm going to get it converted at some point and we can watch it together because I think it would be very cool to watch one of my old games. We'll have a watch party for sure. I think that would be super sweet. So yes, so just know that we're working on that. We're gonna have second screen experiences as well, especially when the Premier League gets going. There might be a possibility of having NWSL on the channel, so we can kind of watch the games together, and that would be a lot of fun to break those games down and help support the women and what they're doing. So having some meaningful talks to hopefully make that happen. Some of it is geo-blocked in certain areas, so that would maybe not be as cool because I want everybody to watch it at the same time. But I wanted to do that. Also, I'm thinking about starting a book club. I know. I mean, I see other people do it and it seems pretty cool. So maybe we should have a book club and then like really sit down and talk about a book. I'd really like to do that. I think that would be really cool and it would encourage me to read a little bit more than I'm doing now. So anyway, that's it. You guys have a great rest of the day. Thank you to everybody that stopped by, said hello. Thank you to Phil Jones and Corey with the K and Monty and Chike behind the scenes for making me look a lot better than I deserve to be. And I will catch you guys next Tuesday. Hopefully one of the guests will come back on. But if you enjoyed this show, let us know as well. If you want it to be, we can maybe find a balance of having guests sometimes and not having guests because then I feel like I get to interact with you guys a little bit more. But we'll find that balance. That's why we're getting it started. And that's it. So I love you guys. Have a good Friday and a good rest of the weekend. And I'll see you Tuesday, 11:30 a.m., 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And that's all I got. So I will catch you guys later. Peace out.